I stopped defining myself, and that's helped me a lot. It can just get stressful to put yourself in a box when there's ebbs and flows to like what you are gravitating to.
There's always this like unsaid understanding that we're doing some serious stuff, but nobody mentions that. If you were to explain that to a non-creative person, how would you explain that?
I am so comfortable and so confident in my process. Even if you are non-creative, I want you to feel that from me, because like everyone's looking to feel something.
The other side of that story is you're meeting up with creative who you see potential, but they're struggling with imposter syndrome. Goal is to say, we are creating regardless of if you're Picasso or not, right? We're still creating. And the whole point is to make other people create so that we can become healthy mentally.
It just comes down to how bad you want it. If you're comparing yourself to other people, well, then you need to get off social media for a while. You need to take a break and lean more into yourself.
Hi, welcome to the Creative Odyssey Podcast. My name is Sheran, and this is a podcast where we talk about the creative journey, why people create, and why pretty much everybody should create. Today, here we are at Future in Graphics here in Cleveland, Ohio. It's a really cool organization, business that is really all about community and creativity. So today I'm highlighting one of the creatives that is involved and connected with FIG. Vanessa Eryn, thank you for being here.
Hi, thanks for having me.
You're welcome. So tell me, how do you define you as a creative?
I kind of have stopped defining myself, and that's helped me a lot. For any multidisciplinary artist, that'll make a lot of sense. Mm-hmm. It can just get stressful to put yourself in a box when you know, there's ebbs and flows to like what you are gravitating to. So I do a lot of different things. I guess if I had to put myself in a box, I'd say I was multidisciplinary.
Okay, cool. The only reason I ask is since my mission is to inspire people to create, right. I want to show how artists understand themselves, and so multidisciplinary.
Yes.
That sounds good. Creative. Mm-hmm. How did you get here?
I was really lucky. I had a great mom who always pushed me to try different things. And if I showed any interest as a young kid in anything, whether that, you know, be scientific or sports related, she was going to put me in the space to be better at that. And my niche was always art. That's always what I gravitated to. So I was really blessed to have a supportive parent she always had my back. She always, you know, pushed me to keep exploring that. So that's the basis of how I've gotten here. And then just because I started from a young age exploring things, I never really had a fear to try different things. I think there was just a fear of, exposing those things outwardly to the world. Like, you know, on a public level, but I've always, like, if you come into my home, it's like, oh, I made the pillows on the couch, I'm decorating the wall, I might have a mural in my space. So it's like, it's always all around me. But yeah, I think I strayed away from the question.
No, it's fine. So let me ask you, your mom, if you were to put into words, like, how do you take that because most of the time growing up means not doing all those things, mm-hmm. and like doing the right thing and all this thing, not the right thing, but like the right career field, the exams, whatever, right?
Yeah.
How was there friction between you and that? Oh, was there friction between you and like the world you were subjected to?
Oh, for sure. Like my peers at the time, especially in high school, they kind of ran to my mom with their ideas because she was so supportive of just being yourself and expressive. She's an artist herself at heart and just helps. A creative. Okay. So yeah, it was interesting because a lot of the kids that I was closest to, were, their parents were just by the book. And there's nothing necessarily wrong with that. We're all working with the cards we were dealt. But I had friends that were like hiding their creativity and would come around me and, be more creative. So there was, I guess, stagnant if we were dealing with like their parents, but like not stagnant, static if we were dealing with their parents. But when it was like in my space or just with me, it was always like an expressive environment. I feel like I have a strong habit of bringing that out in people, because even when I was confused about how I wanted to present myself, I'm just a full-fledged creative. Like I can't hide it if I tried to, so.
What does it mean to express yourself?
There's a million ways to express yourself.
No. Not how.
Oh,
what does it mean to express?
To just not overthink it too much. I think people overthink, what others are thinking of them. And then that makes you kind of like cut off access of like what you actually are to fit into a mold. So I would just say not doing that and it's hard at first, like baby steps, but I think like with anything, if you just keep at it, that's just the way it's gonna be for you. So just showing up authentically, no matter the space. Also knowing like, if you're in a room, you belong there. So, just present yourself as you are.
I'm getting to know you. So how, among all the people you hang out with, what percentage of people are creative and non-creative?
I feel like now everyone is a creative that I hang out with. It's like, that is, my village is truly, everyone is just, in their own mediums, and we kind of all come together, through said projects, or we outsource each other instead of going, anywhere else. So I've been really, really lucky to have the friends that I have. You interviewed one of them earlier, Santana. That's like my brother, but we outsource each other. So everyone's a creative. Everyone has something that they do.
So when creative people hang out with each other, we immediately join into the brainstormings of ideas and stuff like that. But we never talk about why this thing that we're talking about is so serious to us. If you were to explain it, how would you?
Repeat the question for me.
So like creative people, let's say we go out to coffee with somebody, a creative person. We immediately talk about the projects, the ideas we have. But there's always this like unsaid understanding that we're doing some serious stuff. But nobody mentions that. It's like it only happens when you're with a creative person. So I am trying to ask you, if you were to explain that to a non-creative person, meaning person who's not involved in creating, how would you explain that?
You mean like explaining like my projects to them and the seriousnness?
Why you're doing it? Why the project? Like this drive? Why?
That's a great question. I used to kind of like, again, contour, how my approach would be, maybe not as, because I'm very empathetic and it can come off dramatic, especially when I'm speaking on something I'm passionate about. So with people who don't get that, of course, you're like a bit more reserved.
Look at you like, what just happened to you?
Right, and you're like, at that point, you're not being yourself even. But I have grown out of that, where I'm just giving it exactly how it is. And I've been fortunate enough and I think this is from years of like just being in spaces where I have to learn how to communicate and network, and especially doing the marketing here, it's like I'm very comfortable talking to everyone. I know that's not a skill a lot of people have. So when you don't have that, it can be harder to express yourself in a dramatic way and a non-dramatic way. But I feel like I am so comfortable and so confident in my process and the things that I'm making and taking on, that I want, even if you are a non-creative, I want you to feel that from me, because usually that just draws people in closer. Like everyone's looking to feel something.
Yeah.
No matter if you're creative or not.
Yeah.
So people are attracted to passion and confidence.
Yes.
So
the other side of that story is you're meeting up with a creative who you see potential, but they're struggling with imposter syndrome, right? So then it's just more like you seeing good, what sounds like what you're doing already.
Yeah.
We encourage them. And
So that kind of is the basis of the job a little bit, in the sense of like, if I'm trying to help someone present themselves to social media, I have to. Sometimes the person doesn't always see themselves in the light that I can see them in, and that I know will be successful to the market. So convincing them of that, I would just say it's like just having more personable moments with the people you're working with, and getting to know them on their level, meeting people at the level they're at sometimes. That really helps a lot, because we're humans, everybody has their own trauma, everybody's coming from whatever, and it's like, that might be why that person is a little more shy or a little hesitant to, act on certain ideas. So just kind of listening first and like seeing where they're at, and then from there having those meaningful conversations. And that's actually why I started my most recent project with my partner, Carla Wagner. She's awesome. I have to give her a shout out. It's called The Artist Dinners. So we hosted our first one at FIG, and the basis of them was to create an environment from artists from different mediums, different tenures in their career, so that they could all come into a more intimate space. And just, have a glass of wine, listen to some jazz, have some good food. Because most of the time when you go into these networking environments, it's tough, to like really see who you could get along with, and then people have their walls up or they're clicked up, and it's, and if you're already, most artists aren't extroverts.
Yeah.
So that's another thing.
Yeah, that's so true.
That is another thing I'm learning working with so many different artists. They're like, wow, how are you talking to all these people all the time? And I'm just, I don't understand the other way.
Yeah.
So it's interesting, but that's why I created that, to balance that out, because if there is a space that feels safe enough, what I've noticed with people, everybody will just be themselves, So, but you have to set the tone for that environment, and yeah.
That's very cool. That's very cool. That's awesome. So you're a multidisciplinary, and you had a mom who was an artist, who allowed you to create, who let you just do whatever pretty much you want to do as far as creative is concerned. As an adult, how do you look at all these multidisciplinary things, that ways to express yourself? How do you not overwhelm yourself?
Well, it's interesting. Like, I just recently, so my whole life, I've kind of struggled with attention to detail. I mean, I'm either hyper obsessed with something, or I'm like, I touch it and I put it back. And, that had been a thing throughout my life. And recently I just went to go see what that was. And of course I was diagnosed with ADHD, like extreme.
Hi, I hate to interrupt, and I hope you're enjoying this conversation, but we had something really exciting to share with you. We have recently started a new company called Odyssey House Media.
It's essentially a production company to help people tell their stories in a way that actually highlights their story, so that people can actually believe in what they're doing.
So after traveling around Sri Lanka and coming back to the States, we noticed that there's a lot of incredible people doing some really great, meaningful work, but they don't quite always know how to tell their story or have the confidence in doing so. So after working with some other organizations and partnering with them to share their stories, we realized we need to help people share their stories.
The Odyssey House Media has been the one that's been sponsoring this podcast, our blood, sweat, and tears.
So if you've ever wondered, you have a story and you're not sure how to share it, we'd love to talk to you, have a conversation. You can check out more about us and our work that we've done in the past in the link below. All right, let's get back to that conversation.
Yeah. All right.
Of course, I was diagnosed with ADHD, like extreme ADHD. So I'm like, oh my gosh, everything makes so much sense now. But so that, learning that learning that I have that and kind of reading up more and studying that more and how to manage that and like be better with my time management. Literally, I rely on my planner like it is just a part. It's like a limb at this point. Like I check it every day. I fill it out every night because I will forget and my time management will be off. So I think just kind of having those honest conversations with yourself about, number one, what you can handle, because sometimes we pick up too much. So Stephanie says this thing that I think about often, that life is short, but it's also really long. And I think living in the time frame we're in, at least my age group, we have extreme pressure on us to be everything, everywhere, all at once, or you're just constantly comparing yourself to how fast someone seems like they're moving, so that can just cause havoc in the mind to get done what you need to get done. So I would say I have lessened my time, my personal time on social media. I just still work in social media for other people.
Yeah.
But having that cutoff time is like very important.
How many hours?
Because I do work in social media.
That's fine. No judgment here. You don't have to say.
Yeah.
No, I'm struggling with it too.
I might be at like 4 a day.
Wow, that's
honestly.
impressive.
And it took a while to get there.
It's impressive. I don't want to tell you that it's not.
And that's including like work and personal.
Yeah. That's huge.
Yeah, it took a long time to get to that. But it's helped so much, and it's helped me to kind of trust my intuition about where I want to go with my path. So I would just say time management, having something that you answer to, but then also having something that, as a multidisciplinary artist, having something that centers you. For me, it's Pilates. Some people do yoga. For me, it's nice to have because I'm not super sporty, it's nice to have that activity, in my routine.
Right.
But exercising, like going to the gym, that makes me feel like, all right, if I do that in the morning, I can do anything. So I think that's been a really big change for me because I struggled a lot with that actually in my past.
So you mentioned that you started off as a tattoo artist.
Yes.
And then you kind of paused all of that to be a multidisciplinary, right? Am I right?
Yeah, well, I've always slightly done tattoos. It's like I can't
pause.
ever fully.
That's what I meant by pause.
Yeah.
I guess my question is, one, what made you go from that transition to do all of these things? And then the second question is, how do you decide which one to do, which discipline to do?
So I will say I haven't fully decided which to do. It's kind of like understanding time and place. Like I know right now, this is the time for me to hyper focus on my marketing career because it's growing, and it's like I'm either going to catch up to that or get left behind. So it's just kind of like priority. But also knowing this is a talent that I've harnessed and I've put the 10,000 hours in as far as tattooing. Yeah. So if I want to, I can always come back to that.
Yeah.
Just kind of going where the need is great. And right now it's in marketing, and marketing has progressed to website development. So it's just, that's where I got to focus. And I've actually just recently started a course, to progress in that and further educate myself. So
I think the beautiful thing about creatives, free creatives are very free mentally, pace-wise, is that you understand following your curiosity is the most important thing, right? When you do that, you end up learning all these skills. I didn't know how to edit videos.
Right.
I didn't know how to do this setup.
Right.
I learned.
But you get backed in a corner and it's like,
because the drive, the passion is the things I want to do this. Yes. I want to highlight people. Yes. I know there's something really powerful here.
Yes.
But it means sometimes that 2 hours is going to take me to fix an issue, and I might lose a guest who was supposed to be on there because of timing. I think the thing I've understood about multi-creatives, of being a creative, is that you have to be okay with messy.
Yeah. Yeah.
You have to be okay with setbacks. Literally, it shouldn't, it just happens. It's part of the recipe, right?
Yeah, and I think kind of leaning into that, because it's it's messy, but it's beautiful at the same time, because you you might happen to run into someone that you end up having a lifelong connection with. You might discover, again, a new skill that you're capable of. So it's just kind of like letting life be what it is. I would say it's easiest to do that when you know that you've done your best to cover the bases that you could cover. Like, for example, you brought your equipment, you tried your best to say, but that still happened. So it's like, when you show up fully and you're trying, everything's a blessing. Like, yeah.
100%. What's your message?
My message?
Like, what's your mantra? What do you like? How do you function? What keeps you going?
Oh man, I would say I'm really big on community. So I think that's what's gotten me through like this past year, because this past year has been extreme changes, like constantly. Like, I couldn't have even fathomed the changes that are happening now and the projects that are coming up 2 years ago. So I would say having the village that I do. And before I even had this village, for the people who are struggling to find their people, I made my own fake village, and I had YouTube mentors that I would go to and I would seek out advice. And, I feel like when I started doing that, number one, it started shedding anybody that wasn't supposed to be around and making room for that new community. So I would just say, if you don't have the people around you right now, use your resources, further educate yourself, and it will just naturally happen, because you'll be in that environment, at that show, in that library, at that coffee shop, to meet those people. And then having community that's how I'm like sane doing all of this, is I have friends that I can call and go to and, vent, get advice. Yeah. And I have great mentors. Like Stephanie has been one of my mentors, and she's really been a godsend for me. So yeah.
I think that's huge that you have people who you can go and talk about creativity.
Yeah.
For the longest time, I had nobody talk about creativity, and I didn't know, they didn't understand me.
Mm-hmm.
And until I decided, one day I'm like, I'm gonna, like, I didn't even have anybody. I had a good friend of mine who was a creative, and he moved to Columbus. And then I was like, that's when I realized I needed people like him. So people I have heard that were creative, I decided to reach out to them and say, hey, can we hang out and create something?
And that's really what it is. It's like not being too prideful, but not being too prideful.
It wasn't, because like the thing is this, right? Like I talked to Alessis earlier about like the thing that, let's say we create a whole community, this beautiful space, we invite people, the creatives to come. But you know very well that we are not going to connect. Creatives are not going to connect. Why? Imposter syndrome, meaning there's this thing, this we look at people and look at their skill levels and their expertise, and all of a sudden we put a boundary on ourselves. And that's why I asked myself, like, what's the difference between a seasoned artist and a new person who's about to paint? There's nothing. Both of them are creating. And yet when we come to a space where it's community, creatives, we put all these things over us.
Yeah.
And the goal is to break that wall. Goal is to say we are creating regardless of if you're Picasso or not, right? We're still creating. And the whole point is to make other people create so that we can become healthy mentally.
Yeah, absolutely. I completely agree with that.
So I think it's cool that you're doing the community thing. That's so powerful, and especially like breaking that barrier. Like you are breaking a barrier there by adding food and like kind of that vibe to it. This podcast started out of that effort. I first time I hung out with my friend Ben, we went and woodwork together. He taught me how to weld. And then we talked about life and we connected. The other guy was a music composer. I can play piano, and we ended up jamming together. And I was like, what am I doing with my life?
Yeah.
Why am I not hanging out with people all the time?
Right.
And I'm 38.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Wow. But some people never come to that.
No.
So yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It's so that's why I'm saying, like, if more people created, like, I have nothing against poets if you're playing. I have nothing against sports if you're playing, but
Mhm.
you're watching it like 6 hours, however many hours you watch.
Yeah.
Unless with community, that's a different story. I'm getting carried away now here. But the point is that creative people need community,
Mhm.
but also these communities have a huge responsibility. It's not just about the event. It's not just about the poor people you're gonna have on talking. It's about the
Yes.
people that are coming there.
I could go on and on and on about that because there are a lot of different collectives where you see that their goal is to like gain money from the merch or gain money from the event, or it's just all money centered, or like they already have a layout for the clique that they see that they want to come from that event. And it's like, well, this isn't organic at all. And people feel more than we think that they do. So when people are coming into a space like that, they can feel that and know that like, I'm not fully accepted here. So I'm not going to display myself. And I have felt that, coming into scenes, and it is like, there's no need for it.
No.
There's just no need for it. And it really has to do with people being scared of competition, the older generation being scared of the younger generation coming up and gatekeeping. It's just like this ongoing cycle that just hurts the community as a whole.
Yeah.
So yeah, that has always bothered me a lot.
Like it's almost like keep your titles and your experience at the door. We are just a bunch of creatives just literally coming here because we've spent way too much time in our rooms.
In our studios,
like,
I need to chat.
Right, so we can connect with some human being who's probably going through the same thing.
Right.
But we don't. So that's cool that you think about that and you have this kind of vision of, so then, okay. So you work with creatives, you live and breathe creativity. How do you define a creative person?
I think you can be creative, and you can be creative in science. You can be creative, when it comes to sports. I think it's about having your own style of doing things. And that is, I think, what makes a creative. But you can apply creativity to so much. So that's kind of a tough one to.
Yeah. and I ask everybody that just to see how you define it. Yeah, because in Sri Lanka, like I said, I interviewed CEOs of tech companies that are like actually solving problems, like real problems. And like you would think they're like these big-headed people, but what I realize is they look at their problem solving as a creative practice. And they talk about they talk about like spending quiet hours, like CEOs talk about that. That's essentially creativity. That's essentially connecting with your inner child. That's all of that. So like, how about we introduce more creativity to everybody's life and just like let go of this idea that like we need to be successful in everything that we do. It's nuts.
Yeah, I think that's why things like paint and sips are cool.
Yeah.
Because number one, the wine or whatever is going to loosen everybody up. But then also with things like that, you get people that are trying to paint for the first time or like had an interest as a kid. And these are like the stories I've heard.
Yeah.
And they never got back to it, but they've always wanted to or admired it. Or someone is just awful at it, but they admire the craft and they just want to do it. So I don't know. I think more things like that are needed so that people can know there's space to just have fun and like try it, being accepted in the space of not knowing. Yeah.
Yeah, you shouldn't have to feel nervous about going to a creative meetup.
Yeah, right. Like just go and see what happens and just stop putting so many expectations on things. That's what we do as humans with a lot of things, and we ruin it before it's even started. So
yeah, because isn't it like if you don't go up because of anxiety or something, it's because your body is trying to protect you from doing something you don't know the outcome of.
Exactly.
Right.
So you go to your safe space,
Stay home.
Yeah.
So we're here at FIG, and talk to me about. You kind of have a little bit, but playing this marketing role, I feel like you have a little bit more of a passion or something regarding artists and working at here at Fig. Talk to me more about that, what it looks like.
Again, like basis of the artist dinners, like I just have a passion for bringing out the best in people, especially creatives, because I know that through art there's healing. So if I can see potential in someone that they don't see in themselves, it's wonderful for me to highlight that. It's like nothing to me. I can very easily, naturally do it. And then as far as, I'm sorry, repeat the question one more time.
The question was your role here as at Fig and working with creatives and the challenges of it.
Yes. So because I have that natural ability to do that, and I enjoy it, and I enjoy getting to know people. This place, Fig, is community based. Like so much of the work that we do is with the youth, with the less fortunate, or just like locally, people who just want to get in the mix and support, a local business. And then I think being in a space that naturally calls that to it has just been so beneficial to me, because that's where my heart is at the end of the day.
So there are literally all kinds of people watching this, but they're interested in creativity. And I find myself finding that there are people who are attracted to this conversation are either stuck in life or they're curious about creativity, and they're trying to find a way out.
Yeah.
There's a person like that in front of you watching. What do you have to say to them?
Just trust yourself a little more, and don't be scared about reaching out to make those friends or putting yourself in the spaces to, have those opportunities. Or if you don't feel like you're ready for that, further educate yourself. Like this is a time where we have access to so much knowledge. So there really isn't an excuse. And I am going to be that person say that, because that's just real. Like you can look anything up. YouTube has taught me almost everything I know, truly. So it's like, it just comes down to how bad you want it. And it's, if you're comparing yourself to other people, well, then you need to get off social media for a while. You need to take a break and lean more into yourself. So just kind of taking a step back and maybe looking at it like, what would I tell my friend to do?
Okay, they listen to you. Now they're about to create. Or they started creating. What do they do about the negative voices?
Have that thing that centers you. Like for me, I said it's going to the gym. That has become like that quiets my mind. So I'm forced to not think about anything else. Maybe it's reading for you. Maybe it's going for a walk. Maybe it's spending time with your loved ones or yoga. But like spend time trying things out to figure out what that thing is for you, so that when you have moments like that, you can retreat inward and, fix how you're feeling.
Yeah, that's awesome. Vanessa, thank you so much for being here. This was a
for
very exciting
awesome.
conversation. I always tell my viewers, this whole thing is to inspire. So all I ask you to do is keep dreaming, keep creating, and keep going on your own creative odyssey. Till next time, see you later. Thank you. Yeah, of course.
Hi, thanks for watching the episode this far. This is so cool that you've done this. Like, I can't believe you've done it. Like, it makes me so happy. So, first of all, if there's something that like really popped out and you would like to let me know from the episode, please do so in the comments or even just DM me on Instagram. Also, if I can improve on stuff, like Lizzie and I, we're growing together. We were like learning everything. We didn't go to school for this stuff. So, we are improving, and obviously we're looking, so much to improve. But it's highly likely that you have enjoy what we're doing here. So any constructive criticism, please let me know. I would love to grow. And also, if there's anything you like to see, let me know, and check out the other episodes. And also, there's a whole series of the Sri Lanka podcast who is also coming on the way, so watch out for that. I know it's totally been way I gotta get them out, so they're coming literally after these episodes at Fig. Thanks for watching, and I really appreciate your support. Means the world. Thanks again, y'all. We really appreciate you.